Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I am Brad, here with Doug.
Hey.
We got a code for Cygni, All Guns Blazing, which is a shmup, which is, I feel like in my mind, it's like the most video gamey-ist video game genre.
Sure.
It's just, you've got a thing, point it forward and shoot and be happy.
Yeah.
These are games that I enjoy from time to time. I'm not like the biggest fan. 2 or 3 of these a year is about my sweet spot.
Yeah, I love shmups. So this is we were fighting a little bit for this one, but I really like shmups. So I'm actually really curious about this one.
I'd be very curious how you feel because I like shmups, but I turn them to easy, and I like shmups, and I'm going to play this the correct way. So I'm curious how you would have felt about this. So just to get into what this game actually is, you actually had heard of it before because you said that these were like ex-Pixar people, right, who worked on this game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting thing. The opening cutscene in particular, and some of just the cutscenes and the way the characters are done, is very Pixar, especially if you have that thought in the back of your head, because I think that you put that there. But it does look really, really good. Even just your normal shmup gameplay of just floating across the screen, everything is very detailed. Some cool characters. It looks very, very cool all the way through, which I think is something that's unique to this. The other piece is this thing has shit blowing up like all over the place, which is something that you normally don't get in this because you want to keep the screen clean so that you can really see everything coming. This one, though, everything gets a big old explosion. Like little ships, everything gets big old explosions. And what they do to kind of balance that out is kind of the one unique thing this game has going for it is it has a shield and missile balance. So normally in a shmup, and most of them, you get like 3 or 4 hits and you're just out. That's the level.
Yeah.
This one, you could probably take 50 to 80 hits and be fine. It's very odd. And I think...
Well, I'm thinking like, I would not want a game where I don't know if I necessarily want a shmup where I'm taking 50 to 80 hits, though, because it feels like you could get real crazy and a little unfair with how the bullet patterns are coming at you.
It doesn't... Well, we'll talk about why I had to play on easy on this in a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't, though.
It's not fair. Yeah, it's totally fair, by the way.
By the way, I don't think it is. But so what it works is basically you have, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 spots for missiles and weapons. There's only one missiles and shields. There's only one pickup in the game, and it instantly gives you another slot of those. And you basically use L1 and R1 to like balance it. So like, if you have full shields, you're like, okay, here's a bunch of pickups. You hit R1 like 3 times, and that will take 3 shield chunks and put them into missile fires. And then, so then, now I can take 3 hits. Okay, well, I took 2 hits. Okay, now I only have 1 left. I got to get a bunch of pickups to fill it back up. So there's no dedicated, like, I have 4 missiles. You could basically sit here and just shoot missiles off the whole thing and sit at 1 shield bar if you're good at it.
Yeah.
But again, there's crap blowing up all over the place. The on-screen stuff in this is way more exaggerated than a lot of shmups have, just because it's kind of designed for you to take some bullets. It's designed for you to take some hits, which threw me off so hard.
Yeah.
For the first half hour I played, because it's just like, No, it's okay to get hit a few times. Okay, get hit. And the pickups come out maybe, 3 or 4 every 20 to 30 seconds. So you're constantly getting them.
Oh, okay.
So it's this weird balance thing that I think, if nothing else, makes this game unique in a genre that I think sometimes lacks unique gameplay mechanics.
Does it feel sloppy, though? Because, like, there's a precision to shmups.
Yep.
And like pattern. Okay.
Well, no. Yeah. I was agreeing with the pattern.
Sure. There's like a pattern to shmups that I like really enjoy. You can kind of like learn the pattern, but like I'm thinking if they give you so much leeway to get a hit so often, is there like a randomness to it that they're trying to account for, or it
doesn't necessarily feel random. It does. Again, I think part of what it's accounting for is just the amount of crap on screen. Sure, is I think really what it is. Is it does make it feel much more like you're in this epic battle, because you will have, 50 enemy ships, and it has air and ground at the same time. So you'll have, 30 ships on the ground, 40 ships in the air all shooting at you. And you're going to take some fire, but because you're picking these up, you're switching between missiles and shields. You could, I think you could definitely cheese it in a few spots where it's like, okay, like this boss battle, I have all day to do this boss battle, so I'm just going to, every time I get a pickup, I'm going to pop that in shields, and I'm just going to, takes me 8 minutes to do this boss, but I did it.
Sure.
So there is a little bit of that. I think it's just, it's a unique thing, and I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt unique in this. I feel like a lot of these, it's just like, okay, like the unique thing is the way it looks. The unique thing is that it has really excellent bosses. The unique thing is it does some weird enemy patterns, but this actually had an interesting gameplay mechanic that I don't think a lot of other ones try and implement.
No, okay. That sounds cool. I mean, but is it weird? The one thing I thought was kind of strange about the game is like shmups are traditionally, there's very few widescreen shmups.
Yeah.
Unless you're going left to right. And this one you're going bottom top, right?
Bottom top, yep.
How is that with like the widescreen? Because the only other one I'm aware of is like Jamestown. And it's like, it's kind of its own weird sort of thing within the...
And again, I think that might be part of like the shield thing, because it does feel like you have to account for more space. You definitely feel that where it's like, oh no, there's more space to play with here. Like there's one level in particular where in a normal shmup, because you have those sides blocked on a widescreen TV, those sides were just like rows of enemies shooting at you. So you're like going through like a shooting gallery there where there's other stuff coming down in the middle. So it kind of almost played on that like thought of like, oh, you're just in the middle. But oh yeah, no, you have to pay attention to these because normally those bars are, there's just more enemies shooting at you.
Tons of enemies. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Again, I think adds to the on-screen enemies. It adds to kind of the chaotic feeling that this has, which again, if you are a hardcore shmup person, I could very much see this pissing you off and be like, no, that is not, this is not the way these games are made. Sure. It feels very much like somebody going like, no, let me tweak this and screw with it a little bit and see if I can mess with people. So
I do remember one thing you were telling me about though that seemed like a cardinal sin violation was how long the levels were.
So let's get into why I turned it on to easy. The first level I played on normal, got about 12 minutes into it, died. I was like, holy shit, that must have been the end. And I was on a boss. Well, it turns out the first level has 2 mini bosses and a boss.
Oh my god.
And the second time I went through, I got to the boss, died fighting the boss, about 20 minutes, no checkpoints, back to the beginning.
That's insane.
That is
insane. Okay.
It is.
What's the benefit? What's like the benefit of it? Like, what's the benefit of having?
I don't know, but again, I think it's part of that balancing, which is like, okay, we're letting you take a bunch of hits. Well, to counteract that, instead of I feel like a normal shmup, you're somewhere between like the 5 to maybe 10 minutes. Like
I would say less than 5. I would say less than 5 for sure.
Okay.
Like on per level, like I'd say like less than 5. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, you're in the single digits. But I think again, like, okay, well, we'll let you get hit 30 times. Well, then you best make it for 20 minutes if we're gonna let you get hit.
Yeah.
Again, it's all this weird balancing. It felt like a game that just really wanted to play with this and just see like, all right, if we just like mess with every lever we can, what thing comes out, and do people like that? I will say they get better after that, and by better I mean they're more like 10 or 12 minutes, which again still is on the long side for sure of a shmup level. But that first one was it was a beast.
That's crazy. I mean, is it? So I mean, it's like it sounds like they're messing with a lot of things. Like, okay, first of all, I'm like totally open to like genres doing like whatever they want, sort of thing. But like sometimes it does feel like a game's like, oh, I have a new idea, and that new idea isn't necessarily good. Not good, but just like it's different. Yes. Yeah. Does it feel better? Does it feel the same? Does it feel worse now because it's all these new things kind of introduced to it?
I mean, I think if you compare it to other ones, I think it, like you said, it feels more loose. It feels a little more sloppy, but it doesn't feel like it's going for that. You know what I mean? It's like taking something like a Warhammer Space Marine, where it's just, I'm just shooting lots of stuff, versus like, okay, no, I'm playing Call of Duty right now. You know what I mean? Like there are 6 enemies in this multiplayer map. Versus, something that's more of like an old school like computer first person shooter where it's like, oh no, there's 30 people here and we're all picking up rocket launch. You know what I mean? There's good and bad, and it feels like that kind of twist on it where it's like, okay, we're not just going for like, okay, you have 10 minutes, 1 death, go. It's like, no, you're gonna die 60 times in the next 3 minutes. Have some fun. Like it's just it's kind of that balance there. So I don't know.
Interesting. It sounds kind of cool.
It's very interesting, and again, I think that's kind of what it left me with, where it's like, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah. It was too long. The levels were too long. There were a couple levels that were just kind of like there's 7 levels. There's one in particular that was just like, I swear there were 3 enemies in the whole thing and it took 10 minutes. It was like, what just happened? But overall, it's interesting. If you're into this kind of game, I think it's something worth giving a shot, just because it does play with it in a way that me personally, again, somebody who plays maybe 2 or 3 of these a year, hasn't seen before. So if nothing else, it's interesting. But we are Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below. There's a link to Sports and Coffee as well. We'll see you later.
Bye.